Policy Committee has been working hard to engagement process is thorough and provides ample opportunity for all Albertans to get involved. The government and the committee remain committed to an open and honest dialogue with Albertans. And we recognize that there are important steps that we need to take to remove any hurdles to help ensure that we meet these important objectives. That's why today, in response to concerns raised by Albertans, I'm announcing that all coal exploration projects on Category 2 lands will be halted effective immediately. The suspension will stay in place at a minimum until public engagement is completed, at which point the results of the consultation will dictate the next steps. My office has been in contact with the affected companies, and I'm pleased to say that they've indicated their intent to cooperate with the halting of exploration activities. I also want to thank Albertans for making their voices heard. The decision is based on your input and the preliminary survey results. The Coal Policy Committee also formally recommended a pause on the exploration activity in Category 2 lands, and that was in order to ensure that the public engagement process is conducted in good faith. Moving forward, I continue to encourage all Albertans to continue participating in the engagement. The initial survey alone saw over 25,000 Albertans responding before it closed on April 19th. The committee is reviewing the results, which will inform the next steps. We do have some preliminary results in hand, and Ron will be able to speak to those more momentarily. Albertans have not shied away from sharing their thoughts on coal development, and for that I'm very appreciative. On that note, I want to acknowledge some of the concerns raised by the scope of engagement. Yes, the engagement is focused on the development of a modern coal policy, but this means that Albertans are encouraged to share all of their thoughts related to coal development. To be absolutely clear, no one will be restricted from sharing their concerns, including any environmental concerns, including impacts of coal on water. From there, the Coal Policy Committee is responsible for considering the feedback from Albertans and determining how it might apply to a modern coal policy. This will be an important part of the recommendations they provide me in their final report. Ensuring we receive a diverse range of opinions is absolutely integral to developing a modern coal policy that meets the needs of Albertans. As such, I look forward to hearing updates on the engagement process from the committee in the coming months and receiving their final report in the fall. Thank you, and I'll turn it over to Ron.
Well, thank you, Minister. I appreciate those comments, and I appreciate your confidence in our committee. As I promised you on March the 29th, the Coal Policy Committee was established to engage with and to listen to Albertans. We have heard clearly that halting exploration on Category 2 lands was a necessary first step to ensure that our public engagement process can continue in good faith. Our committee has made that recommendation to the Minister, and she has accepted it. Now that the Minister has established this moratorium or halt on exploration, we encourage all Albertans to continue to participate with our committee in the widespread forthcoming public engagement over the next several months as we develop our broader policy recommendation on this matter. While our committee has only just begun its work, Albertans from all walks of life and throughout many regions of the province, have already signaled clearly their concerns for this region. The initial online survey completed on April 19th reflected an overwhelming interest on this issue from more than 20,000 Albertans. We acknowledge and appreciate that interest, that passion, and that focus expressed by so many. While taking into consideration that very significant interest in the survey, my committee nonetheless intends to further enhance our engagement with all Albertans, including with our Indigenous nations, while we explore policy options that will govern potential coal development. We know that those policies have to reflect and protect the public interest of all Albertans. While the Coal Policy Committee will require some additional time to examine the survey results in detail, I would like to share some of the preliminary analysis of that survey with you. First, the majority of respondents feel the management of the province's coal resources affect them. Second, the top-ranking issues when discussing Alberta's coal policy were identified as environmental impacts of coal development and if and where coal development takes place. The majority of respondents feel that there are areas of the province that are not appropriate for coal development, while almost one-third of respondents acknowledge that there may be areas of the province where development could be considered. Next, Albertans would like to participate in the forthcoming committee engagement process through additional online surveys and virtual meetings. Next, respondents want to learn more about the approval process for exploration and development, as well as the categories of coal, which dictate where and how coal leasing, exploration, and development can occur. And last but not least, the majority of respondents expressed material concerns about coal exploration in various areas in Alberta. These initial findings support what we are also hearing from a wide range of other Albertans, individuals, municipalities, First Nations, and landowners. It was very clear to the Coal Policy Committee that calling for a halt to exploration on Category 2 lands, would ensure that our public engagement process is both effective and credible. That's why my committee made the recommendation to the Minister, and we're very pleased that she has acknowledged this independence and that she has agreed with our recommendation. Moving forward, the committee will continue to review the results of that survey as they'll inform the next steps, phase 2 of our engagement process. I want to say in closing, it should come as no surprise that in the time since the Eastern Slopes Policy and the 1976 coal policy were developed, changing times have led to changing perceptions among Albertans. We get that. Just as the climate is changing, so is the economy, and equally so are the expectations of Albertans who cherish their futures and that of their children and their grandchildren. We openly solicit engagement with those Albertans, including the Indigenous nations, who choose to embrace constructive dialogue about how these resources are to be managed and protected. As I said initially in March, we promise to hear those who choose to participate with us as we develop recommendations for sound policies on coal. This is the single most essential step to the achievement of desired outcomes and desired policies for all Albertans. At this time, I'd also like to acknowledge the work and dedication to date of my fellow Coal Policy Committee members, Mr. Fred Bradley, Mrs. Natalie Charlton, Mr. Eric North-Pagan, and Mr. Bill Trafford. I can say in closing, we look forward to hearing from Albertans, all Albertans, and we'll share more details about how they can continue to engage with us in the very near future. Thank you, Minister.
We will now take questions from the media. Operator, can you please put through the first caller?
Thank you. Yes, the first question is from Emma Graney, Globe and Mail.
Yeah, g'day. Am I able to have a question and a follow-up, first of all?
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so my first question is, Mr. Wallace, you kind of referenced there about this idea of the consultations, making sure they're effective and credible being the operative word in that sentence. There is some skepticism among Albertans that there is indeed a preordained conclusion that you will reach, that you will, set out rules in such a way that the government has directed you to. What is your message to those folks? And Minister, what else can you do to ensure that this is not just actually an independent process, but also, that's how Albertans look to it as being an independent process.
I think that question is for Ron, so I'll cede the floor.
Well, thank you, Minister. Could I ask you to just repeat that? I was out of sound range there briefly.
Yeah, for sure. So there's some skepticism among Albertans that the work that your committee is doing, there is also, in fact, already a preordained outcome here, that you've got directives and that you're just going to do exactly what the government wants you to do. Now, you said yourself that you want to make sure these consultations are effective, but also credible, and that's the word I'm really zooming in on here. What else can you do to make sure that these consultations are indeed credible among the Alberta public?
Well, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked it. Recently, there have been opinions expressed about the terms of reference for the committee, and there have been a number of sensational sound bites that have preceded this announcement. I want to tell you that Albertans deserve better discussion on such an important issue. While respecting the need for an open debate on the issue, quite frankly, I disagree with the negative tone of some of those opinions that have been expressed, some of which have received widespread media attention. In reply to that, I invite Albertans to understand why I believe the committee will be of value. It's because it affords an opportunity to shape policy recommendations to the minister to reflect the expectations of Alberta through a full, fair, and responsible airing of the issues associated with potential coal development in the region. It's really important for Albertans to understand that this committee understands its primary role is the provision of independent advice to this minister, transparent advice that is predicated on an open engagement with the public. Hence, the Coal Policy Committee interprets its terms of reference as directing it to hear concerns and to make recommendations on all matters relating to coal development that fall under the responsibility of the Minister of Energy. This includes, by extension, the Alberta Energy Regulator. I'm informed by other experts that the Minister of Energy has significant and sweeping powers to direct and control on Crown or freehold mineral exploration and development in Alberta when it is in the public interest to do so, and she's done so today. The Minister's powers are contained in the Mines and Minerals Act and also RETA, the Responsible Energy Development Act. Also certain is that the government of Alberta, in reaching decisions relating to coal development, must assess issues related to potential pollution of air, land, and water, and headwater landscapes. These are required by law or regulation to be considered before any developments may proceed. I also want to say that any comments to the effect that this committee will not hear concerns from the public on air, land, or water is false. We look forward very much to hearing that discussion, and we look forward very much to reflecting responsible recommendations to this minister that will address those concerns. I hope that answers your question.
And Emma, I would just add to that of course we're going to that this is a credible process, and of course we're going to hear the recommendations. There's absolutely no preordained result of this. That's why we're setting up consultations. That's why it's set up with an independent committee. And I think our steps today with shutting down existing pre-approved exploration on Category 2 lands demonstrates that from the beginning, when we first, back in January, where we paused new leases and rescinded the ones that had been granted, when we reinstated the coal policy and at that time halted any additional exploration permits, to reaffirming to the AER and directives that they were to follow all of the restrictions in the 1976 coal policy, plus today going even one step further and halting exploration that had been approved. I think that goes for saying that this is a fiercely independent committee. So I would just add, with some of the questions, and I think Ron touched on it, on whether the process would be considered credible because of the perceived narrow scope of references. And I think he stated it really clearly. Of course, Albertans can talk about their concerns about the impact of coal on water and the environment, on tourism, and other potential uses of the area. Of course, they can talk about that. We want to hear those concerns. Notably, though, this committee is setting the coal policy. It needs to set the policy vision first and then determine if, what, and when other processes might or might not be needed. So notably, for instance, if there's no surface mining that will be permitted in a particular area, for instance, of course, downstream allocations of water, other uses of the land would be moot. So I think the point is we have to get the policy done first, the vision done first, and then determine what other processes might be needed, if, what, and when those processes would occur.
Okay, great. Thank you. You can go to the next person.
Operator, can you please put through the next question?
Thank you. Kevin Nimick, CTV Calgary.
Hi there. Question for the minister. I'm just looking at the information that was sent out regarding the coal policy survey, and it seems to be extremely vague. For example, it says, quote, the majority of Albertans feel the management of the province's coal resources affects them. Why aren't we being provided with specific data from the survey?
I think that will follow. We're still analyzing it. There was over nearly 25,000 responses. There was over 24,000 responses from all across the province. That's still being analyzed. We've been able to compile some of that into numbers that show a very clear concern from some Albertans on some issues, and that's why we're pausing. That's why we're halting the current coal exploration. That's why the committee has made that recommendation. But the remaining amount of the survey will be analyzed by the coal committee, and they'll be announcing further results. But to be absolutely clear, there was the vast majority of Albertans had indicated they had some concerns, some serious concerns with exploration continuing in Category 2 lands, and especially with that exploration continuing during the time of the consultations. We felt that was going to undermine the good work that the committee was doing, so that needs to be halted pending the work of the committee.
And do you have a follow-up?
I do. Minister, in your capacity as an MLA, you represent Calgary Northwest. Do you think we need more restrictions right now across Alberta in regards to our COVID-19 cases seeming to spike?
Well, I think we've got the EMCC committee, Emergency Management Cabinet Committee, that's looking at those options, and they're hearing those concerns. So my colleagues, my cabinet colleagues, and myself and my caucus colleagues are listening to some of those concerns on all sides of the issues, and we'll be hearing more from them.
Operator, can you please put through the next caller?
Andrea Williams, CBC.
Hi. My question is also about the survey. There has been many criticism about how the survey was built and the questions, which, for example, didn't really ask directly if Albertans wanted coal or not, and the fact also that the survey was not based on random sampling. Those are pretty big issues when it comes to building a survey that could lead to people wonder if the results truly represent Albertans' opinions on the issue. What can you respond to that?
Well, to start with, the very first line on the survey itself was, this is an initial survey. It's meant exclusively to guide the work and the engagement that the coal committee will use from it. So it's not the end of it. It's the very start of it, and it was used to just gauge a range of opinions on what issues matter, so that the coal committee could then take that input and design what the consultations are looking for. To be clear, the survey is not the consultations. The survey is to form the basis of what the engagement would look like. And to be really clear, that initial survey is why we're here today, to put a pause on coal exploration, because Albertans in that survey told us, told our government, and told the coal committee that those explorations needed to be halting pending the outcome. So that was the intent of the initial survey, gauge the views of Albertans on a very preliminary basis, so the committee knew what to focus on going forward. So you'll be hearing from the coal committee on what their engagement process will be going forward. To be clear, engagement is just starting.
Do you have a follow-up?
No, thank you.
Okay. Operator, can you please put through the last caller?
Bob Weber, Canadian Press.
Hello, thanks for taking the call. A couple of questions. First one for Mr. Wallace. Ron, it sounds like the original terms of reference are out the window now, and people will be able to talk about whatever they want to talk about. My question is, in the original terms of reference, there were some. There was a line about the committee only reporting on matters that were raised according to the original terms of reference. My question to you is, will you commit to publicly reporting on everything that Albertans tell the committee?
Well, thanks for that, Bob, and thanks for the question. Yes. I want to acknowledge that our committee mandate excludes some matters that do not relate directly to coal development, but I want the public to understand that the Minister of Energy, in conjunction with the Alberta Energy Regulator, has very broad powers to hear, regulate, and control coal development in Alberta. In short, the public can be assured that any and all concerns voiced by Albertans with regard to the planning, regulation, development, or potential impacts of coal development in Alberta will be heard respectfully, considered carefully, and will be accurately reported to the Minister of Energy. You may anticipate that recommendations will be made to the Minister for policy changes that reflect the broadest public interest of all Albertans. Does that answer your question, Bob?
I guess. My follow-up question then will go to the Minister, and it's in two parts. Once the committee makes its full report to you, will the Minister commit to releasing it in its entirety to the public? And the second part of that question is about First Nations. Is there going to be, as you promised earlier, government-to-government consultations with First Nations?
The answer to both of those questions are yes. We will release the full report, and yes, we will be doing government-to-government, nation-to-nation consultations with First Nations. I've met with a number of the chiefs directly already. We will be continuing to do that to hear directly from their concerns. And I just want to add a little bit to the scope of the terms of reference, just to add to some of what Ron had just said. And I think I would go back to say, of course, Albertans, I know Albertans, I've been an Albertan for over 50 years of my life, and you can't tell an Albertan what they can and can't talk about. So of course Albertans are going to talk. When they're talking about coal, they want to talk about the impacts it have on them, on the impacts on the environment, on water, the impacts on everything. And of course they'll be able to talk about that, and we want to hear those concerns. But these consultations are about coal policy, and I think it's not about the broader land use planning initiatives. It's not about broader water allocations downstream between agriculture and municipal users. It's about coal. So notably, let's get the coal policy and vision done first, and then from there it's going to determine if, what, and when other processes might or might not be necessary. For instance, if there's to be no coal development in a particular area, then obviously downstream impacts of coal on water allocations or on water or anything is going to be moot, and it would be well beyond the scope of these consultations. So let's get it right first and get the coal policy and vision and come forward to see if there's some other processes the government needs to do. And so let's just move on from some of these partisan political stunts that we're seeing. And that's what it is. Over the last several weeks, we've seen a month-long, week-long partisan political stunt coming from the opposition. In order to distract from their own record promoting coal. And their own record was starting in May of 2016, when the previous government completely bypassed the 1976 coal policy in a letter telling the AER that nothing in that coal policy precluded development of a surface mine in Category 2 lands. The media is not talking about that, but this whole situation started in 2016, when that letter opened the door to all the coal activity that we're looking at today, and all the same coal activity that the opposition party is now opposed to. So I would just say, let's move forward with these meaningful consultations. Let's go back to Albertans. Let's hear their views. Let's move forward with a credible policy.
I'm going to ensure that the minister always has the last words. And I want to reiterate something on behalf of the committee. Any governmental regulatory framework is founded on policy. Policies ultimately direct developmental, regulatory, and conservation programs. The Coal Policy Committee and the public engagement process which we're developing represents a material opportunity for Albertans, all Albertans, to be heard and to provide direction to government as to how those policies, those foundational policies, should be formulated to reflect the widest public interest. The committee represents an opportunity for Albertans to be heard and to participate in the development of a new modernized coal policy for Alberta, one that will reflect the views of Albertans and that will provide direction as to how future coal exploration may or may not proceed. In recent days, we've heard many voices that have commented on our work. However, today I urge Albertans not to accept any premature assumptions about our work or about our conclusions, but instead to judge the committee by the outcome of our work and our consultations and engagement with the public. In that regard, I'm inviting all Albertans to be heard and to come and participate with us in this pivotal work. While we respect every voice in a vibrant democracy, we urge Albertans to understand that this committee that this minister has formed is a genuine opportunity to directly shape recommendations for policies that will affect resource development and resource management outcomes for generations to come. Thank you, Minister.
And I would just only add to that, please, Albertans, please participate in this process. The committee is looking for your views as we move forward with this process, with these processes that will follow. We want to hear your views. We want to understand what you would like to see with the modern coal policy. So please participate. Thank you.
And that concludes this news conference. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the sixth Protect Our Rockies and Headwaters concert series show. We just played the presser from yesterday for the people who wanted to see it. Maybe you didn't catch it yesterday. There's a lot in there. Some of it is good, some of it's bad. The bad, for example, is the use of language and playing with words again as they did before. There's some of that in there, like, are they going to halt it? Are they going to pause it? What does it mean? What does the difference mean? Are they going to start it up again in a little while? We'll see. But there's a lot of hopeful stuff in there too. For example, the committee chair there, he pointed out specifically that 1/3 of Albertans say there could be places in Alberta where we might consider coal mining, which by definition implies that 2/3 do not think there are places where we should consider coal mining. And that's a pretty substantial majority. I think we're on the right side of the boat on that one. Do you want to say anything about the presser before we?
No, we'll talk some more later, I'm sure.
Okay.
We have a great lineup of artists tonight.
We do. So let's get into the show. We'll start with our land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the traditional land on which Albertans reside today is Treaty 6, 7, and 8 territory. We would like to thank the diverse Indigenous peoples whose ancestors' footsteps have marked this territory for centuries, such as the Neheya, Cree, the Dene, the Anishinaabe Saulteaux, the Isga Nakota Sioux, the Nakota Sioux Stoney, and the Niitsitapi Blackfoot peoples, as well as the Siksika, the Kaina, the Piikani, the Stoney Nakoda, and the Tsuut'ina. We also acknowledge that this is the Métis homeland and the home of the largest concentration of Inuit south of the 60th parallel. It's a welcoming place for all people who come from around the world to share Edmonton as a home. Together, we call upon all of our collective honored, not just Edmonton, Alberta. Well, they caught me that time.
So we have it here.
Just wait, you guys are not muted.
Could you put it back on the bag here?
Thank you. One more thing. Together, we call upon all of our collective honored traditions and spirits to work in building a great province for today and for the future. All right.
Thank you.
So today we have one of the Livingston Landowners Group members is here. Bobby, are you ready to speak?
Sure.
All right. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Yeah, we're not satisfied with yesterday's announcement, but it's a step in the right direction at least. It feels like we're making some progress.
I agree.
Yeah, I think they had 25,000 people speak out, and it sounds like it was a pretty overwhelming, like a no, and you can't ignore us type of thing.
Yeah, it definitely was clear that it was, when she used words like vast majority, I mean, you're probably talking virtually everyone, for them to acknowledge it to that degree.
Yeah. So that's good. We're feeling good about that, and we're feeling good about what we're doing and like spreading the word. Yeah.
Do you want to give your comments on the press conference yesterday? Or
yeah, sure. Sure. I thought I would start by just sharing a little bit about who Livingston Landowners is. I'm not sure if everybody who's involved is familiar with the organization. Do you think that makes sense?
I think that'd be a great idea.
That'd be great, yeah.
Okay, so I mean, we, like a lot of people that are involved in this fight, are really a small volunteer organization. We were actually started back in about 2004, so we've been around for a little while. Our organization is largely landowners, residents, and a few supporters, and our focus has always been land stewardship, sustainable development, making sure that, if there is new development in the Livingston Porcupine Hills area, which is kind of the area we focus on, that it is in fact sustainable, that it doesn't destroy the headwaters, that it helps to sustain and manage, the really sensitive ecosystems that we're responsible we have a stewardship responsibility for in terms of the area where we live and where we work. So we've been around for a while. We've fought a few battles, never anything like what we are experiencing with this coal issue. We started in on this issue recognizing that there was going to be a lot of disruption throughout the southeastern slopes, including the areas that we focus on with Grassy Mountain. And then when a year ago the province rescinded the 1976 coal policy, and of course started tampering with a whole bunch of other directives and regulations in the interests of red tape reduction, that's when it really ramped up for us. But I think that's true of so many of the groups that are engaged in this whole process. So, I think that back to your comments around the news conference and the announcement that coal exploration was going to be halted in Category 2, I think that's a victory that we need to celebrate. That would not have happened without the tremendous outpouring of concern and effort by so many individual Albertans as well as groups. I think it was very, very telling, when you heard the minister and the chair of the Coal Consultation Committee talking about, just how strong the outpouring of concern was from the survey. And I think we were all very anxious to see some of the detail. And I think it's particularly important given the way that survey was structured. It was designed to get a different answer, and that people were able to get that information out there is incredible. And I just want to personally say thank you to everybody that was involved in doing that. So I think it is a victory. I think it was a very important step that we needed in order for this consultation process to have any chance at all of succeeding. Do I wish it would have gone farther? Well, of course I do, but we still need to celebrate the wins when we get them. And I think the other thing that I just wanted to say about that is the consultation process is not perfect, but it was also encouraging that, both the minister and the chair talked about the fact that we can put our views clearly on the table with respect to the headwaters, water, all of the issues and risks that we've been talking about for the last number of months. So I think we need to do that. I think we need to keep the pressure on. I think people need to participate in whatever way, we're allowed as the committee starts laying out the avenues by which they are going to collect information. Right now, I think it's our best shot at getting change in the Alberta government as it stands. So I think we need to take every opportunity to get our views out there and get them enshrined in the recommendation that comes out of that committee. Of course, we still need to keep working on all the other fronts, including the federal government, given issues around things like Kent Mountain and Grassy Mountain. But I took a moment and celebrated that little victory yesterday, and I hope everybody else did as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think you got to take the little wins while you can, especially with these guys.
Do you feel like, does your group think this could be an opportunity to entrench more protection of the areas long term?
That's certainly one of our goals. And I do think it's opened up the door. None of us, I think, realized just how inadequate our protections were.
And tenuous they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they could be gone at the stroke of a pen.
Exactly. And even the Category 4 lands, which so far they've been refusing to look at, in terms of geographic area, most of them overlap significantly into the so-called Category 2. It's just that, 30 years ago or whatever, they were set into a different category because largely they'd had some small amount of mining or disruption on the land at some point, but nothing that justifies the kind of mining that they're talking about doing there.
Yeah, I found it kind of odd that they carved out the category 2 as the only one for the exemption. I know when I filled out the survey, I didn't say, oh, only category 2. Go ahead with 3 and 4. Like,
oh no, I put in all categories of land in bold, you know, and I think most people did. So they're playing with it a bit, as we knew they would, but it is a step.
It's good, and I think it's kind of a little ironic how Minister Savage sometimes pointed out that maybe we're trying to get ahead of putting the cart ahead of the horse by talking about water use and whatnot before we set the coal policy. It's like, well, then let's not set the coal policy until we set the overall land use policy. That would be the overarching thing. If we say there's no place for coal mining, why bother developing a coal policy?
It is a bit backwards, but I mean, I think we can still use it. I think you can absolutely say coal policy based on everything we know and all this evidence we can put in front of you has to be no coal. So, you know, that means we've got an opportunity to do the rest.
Well, and that was a real hopeful part. I mean, the committee chair there, he said at one point that maybe no coal is what people want.
Exactly.
So, and they'd be open to hearing that. So
right. So we need to make sure they hear it. Sorry, what was that?
I was saying, so let's get engaged.
Well, let's keep engaging. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Exactly.
Oh, which reminds me, I haven't mentioned it today. There are so many petitions out there. Sign them all. Like E3159. That's only got about 9,000 signatures right now, but it's open for quite a bit longer. Also, the Grosvenor's own Coal's Not Cool, which will try and leverage the UCP's introduction of Bill 51 to put the issue on the table in front of the entire government, not just the energy department, in a way that they can't ignore. And that's a big goal. That's like 260,000 signatures we need. So it's creeping along, but if you can go to coalsnotcool.ca and sign and check your boxes that you're an elector. If you are, you live in Alberta, you're over 18. Well, you usually live in Alberta. You don't have to all the time. You're over 18 and you're a Canadian citizen. That's what they want to know. And the other important checkbox there is consent to contact you again in regards to this issue if we have to, if that bill actually gets passed. This petition, the way I've set it up, isn't going to meet their requirements. There are additional ones. You need an actual physical signature. But if that happens, we can make that happen, as long as we can get a hold of you again to get your actual signature.
And I just wanted to thank your group and all the groups that are working so hard. I feel like you're all working on our behalf also. So a huge amount of gratitude to you and all the groups working out there, also the Indigenous groups working. So thanks. Thank you very much.
It is very much a team effort, and that win wouldn't have happened, I don't think, if you didn't have so many different groups and people, just everybody pitching in and doing what they can. So I just echo that. It's so important.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Anything you wanted to say before we go to our first musical guest?
No, I think I've covered everything, unless you think there's something more I should address.
No, that was great. You let us know who you were, what you were doing, and what you think of what's going on right now. So.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, and that takes us to our first musical guest of the evening, Nico and Jeff. Are you there, Nico and Jeff?
We are, yeah. Hello. We're here.
All right, let me throw the spotlight on you. Ooh. And let me take it off of us because nobody cares right now. We don't sing. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry, Scott. You're later. All right, there we go. There we go.
Everybody, thanks so much for having us, and thanks. It's an honor to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and good luck, you guys. This is an important fight you're fighting, and it's really good that you're creating so much awareness around this. It's awesome.
We really appreciate everything you're doing. Thank you so much. We thought we'd throw out a couple of original songs that would celebrate how beautiful this province is. And we're going to start with one of Nico's called Song for Alberta.
Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and. I hear the sound of the rain falling on my car. I wanna feel the rain. I see the city lights inviting, and I wanna dive deep into the heart of it. Under a canopy of trees is where to look to find me. It's where my solace lives, and I just can't wait to be here again. Sand to the pine, wafting in the breeze. Can you feel the heat? I climb any mountain to the top just so I can feel free. In the river, water running over my feet, and my toes are cold, and I just can't wait to be here again. I love your waterfalls, your deserts, and your blue skies. Snowfall and the raindrops and the sunrise. I like drinking water from a fast-running stream, refreshing me. And I just can't wait to be here again. I love your waterfalls, your deserts, being lakeside, and campfires with my friends under the moonlight. In the autumn leaves are falling, I look around and it's beautiful. I like catching crab apples right after they fall off the tree, and watching butterflies flying over fields of green where the flowers bloom. Yeah, and I just can't wait to be, and I just can't wait to be, and I just can't wait to be here again. And that is Song for Alberta. Lots of memories and snapshots of Alberta. This next one is a Jeff Kushner original.
This is called Water, and here we go. You ready?
I'm so ready.
I would like to be the water. I would like to be smooth and clear. Fall down to the ground. Rise again to the sky. I would like to be the water. I would floating and rippling. Where once was fear, you start to tremble. If the shadow overtakes you, I'm coming all around. Water to save you. Everything is blue and fresh and clear. I can stretch from over there to here. I can float you, I can feed you, I can watch over everything and remain.
This is Jeff Kushner, everybody.
This is Nico Brennan.
Fabulous songwriter from
shucks.
here in Calgary, Alberta. We don't know where people are watching from, but that's where we are right now. We thought it would be nice to finish with an Alberta tune, one I'm sure that you're all familiar with.
Cool.
You all set?
All good. Ready?
Okay, me too.
Full of strong winds that blow lonely, 7 seas that run high, all those things that don't change come what may. But our good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. I look for you if I'm ever back this way. Guess I'll go out to Alberta, where there's good there in the fall. Got some friends that I can go to working for. Still I wish you'd change your mind if I asked you one more time. But we've been through that 100 times before. 4 strong winds that blow lonely, 7 seas that run high, all those things that don't change come what may. But our good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. I look for you if I'm ever back this way. If I get there before the snow flies and things are going good, you could meet me if I sent you down the fair. Back by then it would be winter, not so much for you to do, and the wind sure do blow cold way out there. 4 strong winds that blow lonely, seven seas that run high, all those things that don't change, come what may. But our good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. I'll look for you if I'm ever back this way.
Thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you so much. We're so honored to be able to
Honored to be
participate.
here.
Thank you.
Good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nico and Jeff. Very nice set. Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you.
And tell us just a little bit about your Friday happy hour at home sessions.
Oh, so every Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. we started when everything started to be locked down in Alberta at last. Actually, we just celebrated our first anniversary.
Mhm.
And we just do a live stream every Friday, and sometimes we play our original material, and we actually take requests on the spot. So people
great.
people can send us messages on Facebook, and we'll be like, okay, we've played lots of songs that we've never played before, where we're like, okay, well, let's just give it a shot.
Yeah. On the go a bit.
Well, that's great. Expand the repertoire.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Great idea. We put a link to your website in the chat, and nice appreciative comments in the chat. So thanks again for playing. And you probably have some new fans now.
Yes, and we'll just say it because it's nice and easy to remember. NicoandJeff.com.
That's right.
All right. Thanks for playing.
Thanks so much. Thanks for having us.
Bye-bye.
I look forward to watching
Okay.
everyone else.
Our next guest is Emily Patterson. She grew up in Banff, and she has recorded a video for us. So let's get to that right now.
Hi, my name is Emily Patterson, and I'm really honored to be a part of this event tonight. I grew up in Banff, Alberta, and this is an issue that's very near and dear to my heart. And I just wanted to say that I do not support open pit coal mining in environmentally sensitive areas like the Kananaskis, Crow's Nest Pass, and the eastern slopes of the Rockies. I thought I'd start my set by playing a song that I wrote. I mean, it's about Alberta. It's about my granddad, who was 94 years old when he died. And he grew up in Calgary, and he used to spend his summers in a teepee in Fish Creek Provincial Park. And he had this old gray pony that he used to ride bareback all around. And no one ever worried about him because Napoleon knew the long way home. They'd always make it home at the end of the day. He was an incredible man, and he was never one to stand in the way of someone else's adventure. So it's a song I wrote for him. He was born on a leap year and he died on a Chinook wind. Was the leap of a year, I was the youngest son. The barefoot boy on the prairie run. Was the call of the wild, it was the love and the laugh. The Elbow River and the Fish Creek camp. There's a river path I take as I ride on into town. I follow it down to Livery. There's space out here for a boy to be bigger than his reverie. And step lightly as you go. Catch a Chinook wind out of the Calgary cold. And step lightly as you go. Napoleon knows the long way home. Margaret Armstrong is a hell of a gal who moved up north to Girouville, where the land is wild, but she makes it sing. My home, my heart, my everything. It's simple, but it's ours, this little skid shack. It's simple, but it's ours for us to build. Margie and me, we made a family. You love them right, and then you watch them grow. And step lightly as you go. Catch a Chinook wind out of the Calgary cold. And step lightly as you go. Napoleon knows the long way home. My granddad used to always call me little girl. And he'd always go, "Hello, little girl," when he saw me coming. And he actually taught me to ski a long time ago. There was a day, he used to love to tell this story about when I was a little guy, and we were skiing at Big White, and he wanted to take me down a green run. And at the time, I was really afraid of bears. And I felt like the trail on the green run was too skinny and that we were in danger of getting attacked by bears. And he said, no, Amy, all the bears are sleeping. And I said, I know, I can hear them snoring. And so instead we had to spend the whole afternoon going down a quadruple bajillion black diamond, and we made a real meal out of that adventure. Hey little girl, come and sit with me. Even mountains move after centuries. No, there ain't no bears, see, they're all asleep. Be careful here, it's getting steep. There's a thing you're looking for, and you'll find it when you're brave. And when you do, I hope you think of me. Hey little girl, oh, it's been so sweet. Step lightly as you go. Catch a Chinook wind out of the Calgary cold. Step lightly as you go. Napoleon knows the long way home. Step lightly as you go. Napoleon knows the long way home. I'm going to play you a song that I wrote when I was doing a residency up at the Banff Center. This is one called Don't Ask. Ask me once again if I'm a liar. Well, I told it to you true. It's all I know to do. Heard it as it's coming down the wire. 'Cause something in your voice, I know I made the choice to come clean. Ask me if I care, you know I do. I held steady through the fighting and held on for the lightning. Back and forth I go. If you called, then I'd be there. You know that I'd be there for you. So call anytime. You can call anytime. Lonely is as lonely was. Darkness came and drunken does. Everything I do for you. Knowing doesn't change a thing. Going back ain't worth the pain. Everything I said, you knew it too. And ask me where I've been away. And I know I left you high and dry, hurting hard, how could I? So don't ask me why I came for you. No, despite the vitriol, I'll always come when you call my name. So call anytime. Can call anytime. Lonely is as lonely was. Darkness came and drunken does. Everything I do for you. And knowing doesn't change a thing. Going back ain't worth the pain. Everything I said, you knew it too. Ask me once again if I'm a liar. I don't know. I guess so. I think I'm going to play a song that I wrote and recorded during the pandemic, actually. I recorded this in BC, and I wrote it, I guess I wrote it right before the pandemic happened. I was out in New Orleans for Folk Alliance in January of 2020, and I was just feeling totally beat up. And I could hear this kid out, I was staying right in the French Quarter, and there was this kid playing this wild backbeat just on like a 3-gallon pail. And I wrote this song. I was really meditating on death and loss. And then as the pandemic hit, and I just felt like it was something that I wanted to sing to people and that I wanted to say. It's a song called Let Your Trouble Go. I wish I could hold your grief in mine and just let you take the day. You could sit down by the water and let it rise up with the tide. Oh, oh, when the levee breaks. Oh, 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 when the levee breaks. 'Cause I don't believe in a lot, but I'm hopeful. What other choice do we got? Find a way. Whether you're here or you're gone, I'm still hopeful. I hear your voice, and it's not far away. Ooh, let your trouble go. Ooh, let it go. Ooh, let your trouble go. Ooh, let it go. I know there's a way to live past fear, breaking out to bigger space. See, I've been learning from the water. You let it rise up with the tide. Oh, oh, when the levee breaks. Oh, oh, when the levee breaks. 'Cause I don't believe in a lot, but I'm hopeful. What other choice do we got? Find a way. Whether you're here or you're gone, I'm still hopeful. I hear your voice and it's not far away. Ooh, let your trouble go. Ooh, let it go. Let your trouble go. Ooh, let it go. 'Cause I don't believe in a lot, but I'm hopeful. 'Cause what other choice do we got? Find a way. Whether you're here or you're gone, I'm still hopeful. I hear your voice and it's not far away. No. Ooh, oh, let your trouble go. Ooh. Thank you so much for listening and supporting this cause. My name is Emily Patterson. I hope you have a beautiful evening.
Such beautiful music.
Yes, that's one of the reasons we started hosting music shows, was to see stuff like that. All right, let's keep the evening moving along. Our next musical guest is an Edmonton fixture. He had an album out last year that made it to #1, or was it maybe even this year? I don't know with COVID, but made it to #1 on the KOA charts. So we're pleased to present Mr. Scott Cook.
Hey, how's
Scott.
it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good. Emily's so good, hey?
Oh gosh, that was so great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to wait a little bit for that. She was booked for an earlier show, but stuff came up. But it was worth the wait.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I haven't heard her in a long time. She's fantastic.
Yeah.
Really so glad that you guys are doing this. So thanks for putting it together.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I should mention, since you say that, it's not just us. So Wendy and I at the Grosvenor, but there's also a few other people involved in booking the shows and organizing stuff, and they deserve credit as well. Christine Berger, Marie Aiken, and Brian Taylor put in yeoman effort. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I heard about it a while back, and I'm glad we can be a part of it. Both Pamela and I are of the opinion that it would be crazy to do anything like that to the Rockies, as I think most Albertans are share that opinion. So I remember when we first heard about it. I just, I remember asking Pamela, I was like, what can I do to and I remember feeling a little powerless about that. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are mobilizing folks. I'm really encouraged to see the landowners associations down south getting involved. And I put a note in my calendar just now to call Minister Savage on Monday. And yeah, and I guess another thing we can do is sing songs about it. So we were put in mind of this one. It's a song about being a kid, but it's also a song about the great outdoors and yeah, like Pamela said today, it's like, what did you say?
Oh, I think that a person is better able to sort of develop a commitment for conservation if one has had experiences that are cherished in memory of childhood places and childhood wild spaces. I think it's quite linked to active, action around conserving things now.
Yeah, because what would be the point of taking care of it if you don't love it, if you never loved it at first? Yeah. Speaking of wild spaces and wild animals, we got one outside the door. I hope she doesn't put up too much
She'll
of a fuss.
contribute a little bit.
Yeah. Remember when we played among the trees, through pine cones and skinned our knees, built forts out of sticks and boats out of paper and wood, and the days lasted so long. Lots of games had their own song, and up until dinner time we had the run of the neighborhood. There was a rainbow and a piece of glass, dewdrops in the tall grass, dark smells and shade, and a puddle of water in an old rubber tire, and a hiding place inside it, and anywhere your bones fit, and inside every story with something to fight against and someone to admire. And the TV signed off at night, but you could read with a flashlight, and games just took cards or chalk or jacks and a ball. We played grown up with candy smokes and hockey cards in our bike spokes, and climb in a maple tree. The seeds would helicopter as they fall. We'd always known it, but if we knew what it was worth, would we traded it for trinkets from the company store? I ain't saying it was heaven, but at least it was earth. We don't taste much of that anymore. What weight pulled our kites down? What fear drove us from the playground? Convinced us there's only one game, and the point is to win it. What modesty clipped our wings, traded our dreams for things, led from leaf-covered trails to a road with no poetry in it. And can we find our way back somehow? Or has our imagination failed us now? Here with the world at our fingertips, doors locked and shades drawn, can we catch a wild breeze again? Are there still faraways in the wind? Stories worth believing, dreams worth betting everything on. I believe there still are. All right, we'll play you one more here. This song's an older one of mine. Jeremy's right. I did put out a new record this year. Last year. I mean, COVID year. In COVID year, I put out a new record called Tangle of Souls. I might even have one. There it is. It's a book. It's a book as well as a record, and it's a lot of my thoughts about some stuff that happened to me over the last couple years, over the last 3 years, I guess, and how I saw some of those lessons kind of writ large in the world as a whole. My own sort of addictive personality and my own the cycles of consumption that I found myself locked into, and sort of frantic dissatisfaction that I see in myself, and seeing those same things out in the wider world. And so anyway, that's a story talking about all those things. If anybody wants to get it, they can come by my website. It's at scottcook.net. But we're going to play you an older song, just because this one kind of took on some new life this last week. A guy from Gabriel Island named Bob Bosson made a video for it, and he did it with a whole bunch of other singers, including like Peggy Seeger and Leon Rosselson, some old folk royalty like that. Elizabeth May was even in the video. And Ferris and Jason Romero, a bunch of friends, and a bunch of folks I hadn't met yet singing it. And so I was real honored to see that, and to see that go out in the world. And it's a song for the earth. And I think we've been given a great gift here to have the opportunity to live in such a beautiful place, and I hope we can take good care of it. So. This guitar came from a timber, from the body of a tree, through the workshop of a luthier. Now it's on loan to me, and it's good company after dinner, and it fits my hands just fine. But someday another singer with a pair of hands like mine will coax out songs much prettier, still hiding in its strings, and sing stronger, braver words than I could ever sing. And folks are gonna love it. Of this I'm almost sure. So I'll take good care of it, 'cause I'm borrowing it from her. Pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, but time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along. And I still love my country. Sometimes it's hard to recognize it, but I count myself lucky to have been born inside it. And I'm grateful for the rights others struggled hard to win. You can be sure I'm gonna fight when they try and take them back again. Oh, and everywhere are teachers, though some fell along the way. The words they said still reach us, just like you're teaching me here today. And you may not speak it loud, but it's clear in what you do, and I hope to make you proud, 'cause I borrowed it from you. Pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, but time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along. Seems these days we're in a hurry to grab up all that's left to use. putting patents on discovery, making seeds that don't reproduce. If our vision is so narrow, seeing only bought and sold, we'll end up like the pharaohs, buried with their gold. We've all pushed this thing along, we've all been guided by our fear, but the river sings a song we've gotta be quieter to hear. It's in every child's face, new and hopeful as a stem. Best be gentle with this place, 'cause we're borrowing it from them. Pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, but time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along, pass it along, pass it along. May it land in careful hands when we're gone. You carry it for a moment, but time won't loan it to you for long. You don't own it, pass it along. Nice work, Pamela May.
Nice songs, Scott
Well, thanks for having us, guys. And thanks
Beautiful
for the
music,
work you're
Scott.
doing. Thank
Our
you,
pleasure.
Wendy. Thank you, Jeremy. Thanks for
Thank you,
pulling
thank
this
you.
thing together.
That was beautiful.
Before you go, do you want to tell us any plans for the summer? I know you're doing lots of live shows, you and Pamela, and more out in the open air last summer. So maybe there's some of that to look forward to.
Yeah, I sure hope so. It really all depends on public health restrictions and where all that goes.
Yeah.
But we would love to play some front yards and backyards and side alleys and all that kind of stuff like we did last summer. That was fun. It's
Yeah.
amazing how many people there are in our own city that, like it's not like you really need to go on tour to sing for new people. There's plenty of audience out there who's never heard of us. So it was great to just kind of see some of these neighborhoods like turn into little scenes of their own.
Totally. And maybe the Riverdale Folk in Face Masks.
Oh, yeah.
The second now.
Yeah, last year was the last annual. Yeah, let's go the last Riverdale Folk and Face Mask Festival. I think that'll be on the 22nd of August is when we're aiming at to do that. And Pamela and I hopefully will go out on tour at some point, and hopefully I'll take the Second Chances out on tour at some point as well, but it really remains to be seen. I'm supposed to be going to the States in February, and I got my first
in September
jab today. Did I say February?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I said that.
September.
That doesn't sound like a good time to go on tour, does it? In September, yeah. I got my first jab today, and hopefully I'll have my second before I go. So, yeah, we're hoping for shows on the horizon, but at the moment we're doing online stuff. We'll be online on May 7th. Is that right?
The Friday?
May 8th?
Yeah, Friday or Saturday.
The Saturday. Yeah, May 8th we'll be doing our next online show. And,
Great.
Yeah.
And I thought you have an email sign-up list, and many artists do. So just encouraging everyone watching, when you like the music, go to the artist website. You can often sign up for their email list. You can buy their music and buy their merch. So check them out. Check Scott out. Yeah. All right.
Cheers.
All right.
Folks.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks again.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, take good care.
Bye-bye. All right. Okay. I just wanted to talk about where the money was going from for tonight. I think the main thrust of the concert has always been getting awareness and knowledge out about what's going on, and trying to get people motivated to stop it and do the things that they can, which include, as always, write a politician every day. Doesn't matter which level of government. They all have something to bear on the problem, and it does work. It doesn't. Sometimes it feels like you send it out into the ether and it just disappears, but it gets somewhere and people read it, and every little bit adds up and it puts weight, leaning in the right direction. And we saw yesterday the sort of thing that starts to happen, and I've been the kind of guy that goes up against stuff like that in the past, and it feels like you're not having any effect, and then all of a sudden it just falls apart and you get what you want. They cave because you keep pushing, because they're not set up to deal with that sort of thing. They expect people to give up, and when you don't give up and you keep pushing, they give up. So keep pushing, everybody. Keep pushing. With that, we have another great video from the Jackson 5 Basement Rock Showcase. Well, let's go to that right now.
And we're rolling. We are deep in the dark shadows of the Rocky Mountains. And madam, your grave is ready. Jackson 5s, and this is the normally Basement Rock Showcase, but tonight we're it's Squirrel Hut Showcase. And this is Grok Mananoff on keyboards for you tonight, especially. He came out of his cave and he's playing for you, and you should enjoy it. And this is a song that's a little further from the Rocky Mountains called Irricana Blood Bath, and it goes like this. Yeah, you start with this. This one is entitled A Dead One Hangs in the Web. 1, 2, 3, 4. And thank you for tuning in. This is our last number, and this is entitled Pardon My Ghoulish Laughter. And thank you for supporting this wonderful cause. Don't let jerks mess up the world. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
it. That was awesome.
Love it. Yeah, that was great. That was fantastic. Thank you, Jackson 5 Basement Rock Review, or what was this? It was the Squirrel Bus showcase. Very good, very entertaining. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're going to talk about that after, right? LLG.
We'll talk about the Livingston Landowners Group after.
Okay, yeah.
We're going to get a shot in the arms of Anne Breen next.
That's right, Edmonton's own. She lives not too far away.
No,
Yeah. How you doing, Anne?
I'm pretty good. I'm really crappy at anything technical, so I'm surprised that can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we can see you. All right.
It took me like a while to get the lighting figured out so that you could see me and I wasn't blinding myself. But
yeah.
here I am.
And have you got your use original sound turned on?
Have I what?
You use original sound on the Zoom?
Yes. What
Yes?
do you mean by that?
Okay, so you're gonna have to do this. Are you doing this with a phone or with a computer?
Oh, computer.
Computer, okay. By your microphone, there's a little up arrow. Click on that.
Yes. See that even.
Click on your audio setting.
Yes.
Okay, you scroll down and it says music and professional audio.
Oh, I never knew that was there before.
Yeah.
Music and professional audio. Wait a minute. Yes. So I wanted to get show the meeting option to turn off notifications.
Yeah, you
I want to click that box. Okay.
Show in meeting. Yeah, click that and click all the other three. Make sure they're all clicked.
High fidelity stereo audio.
That's right. And then you turn that off. You come back to your screen, and when you look up in the upper left, it should say "Turn off original sound."
Yeah. Okay. Do I want that?
Nope, because if it says that, your original sound is on, and that's the setting that you want.
Amazing.
Yeah. There we go.
It's like doing live tech troubleshooting in front of people.
But your music's so good, it's all worth it.
Oh yeah. Well, and now all the other people know.
Thank you for teaching me that.
You're welcome.
Okay, should I play? Okay, hopefully I can play better than I can do IT.
I know for a fact that you can.
No pressure. All right, well, I thought I would play a song that, without too much imagination, hopefully can relate to the topic. I could feel it on the sidewalk. I could feel it in the news. I could feel it in the billboards. It's always in the blues. I could feel it in the traffic. I could feel it in the noise. Desperate girls and the desperate boys. Well, I ain't got money and I ain't got luck, and I'm tired of working so hard and still being stuck. Oh, but they say there's gonna be a change one day. Oh, it's nobody knows when, but if you look around you, oh, you'll find it's already happening. It's already happening. It's already happening. Somewhere there's rich, there's always the poor. Yes, the price for peace here is a faraway war. And the tables turn some more. And the cards get shuffled. Tell me who's gonna score. Well, I ain't got money and I ain't got luck, and I'm tired of working so hard and still being stuck. Oh, but they say there's gonna be a change one day. Oh, there's no How's that?
That sounded fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you. Any suggestions tech-wise, or should I just keep on going?
Just keep on going.
Okay. Cool. Well, I wanted to play a song that's it's called All That You Can, and as Scott sort of was alluding to, yeah, sometimes you feel, and you were too during, like what you're trying to do is just a little drop in the bucket compared to what it takes to make a major change in the world. But I wanted to add it to your comments right before I played, well, because I agree, which is that I thought about this in the analogy of a cup of water, which is composed of small little drops of water, and every single drop, a drop by itself might be almost invisible and hardly noticeable to anybody, but all the drops together add up to a full cup of water, and one drop more than full is the tipping point on a cup of water. And every movement takes a whole bunch of people to make anything happen. If you think about the Black Lives Matter movement that just is still ongoing, the Me Too movement, Indigenous rights and land claims, which is very related to this topic, all part of that. So this song I'm playing in relation to that, where everybody can do their part. There, of course, we need leaders, but we also need followers, and we need all the skills and all the different talents of different people doing different things. And that's why I want to play this song right now. Oh, take me just as I am. Don't forsake me. Oh, just 'cause you can. But if you do think, yes, if you do think you wanna be my man, just come on and tell me. I will do all that I can. Sometimes I think they want to break me, just to see if they can. Oh, they mistake me for a weak and silly woman. But if you do think, oh, if you do think, yeah, you wanna be my man, just come on and tell me. I will do all that I can. Lord, yes, there are poems on which I'll bet. But how can we be honest, baby? If we can't be friends, so take me, baby. Oh, yeah, just as I am. No, don't forsake me now. Oh, just 'cause we can. Oh, oh, no, but if you do think, baby, if you do think, baby, you wanna be my man, just come on and tell me. I will do all that I can. All that I can, just come on and tell me, and I will do all care. All right, do you have time for one more?
For sure. Yep.
All right. I just released this single last month. There's a video for it on the YouTube, and I'm about to release a live version of it with my band. Sort of live. We all live in different cities, so played live individually and edited the video together live. But I'm pretty excited about it, and I will be releasing it exclusively via my newsletter, which you can sign up to on my website, annevereen.com. Sorry to sort of self-promote on this other thing. But that's, I have been pushing this on pretty hard, and it's actually, I think, also related to this topic in that it's about our societies, I think, got a lot of self-examination left to do before human justice and environmental justice, which are very interconnected, are properly, fully addressed in our society. And I wrote this song long before the pandemic, but weirdly it sort of seemed increasingly relevant as the pandemic wore on, and the events in history and in politics in our country and the country to the south of us and around the world in many different countries. So a lot of people watching might know this song and know the little "Some a Little More" thing, and you're welcome to join in at home on that.
everybody for having me. And hi, everybody out there.
Thanks, Anne-Breen. Your music's always like wind in my sails. I love it.
Shot in the arm, wind in the sails. All the...
That's just what we need.
Thanks for having me. And thanks to all the other artists too. And good luck with all the endeavors.
All right. Do you have anything coming up this summer? I know last year you did the porch concert series, which was great. We never actually got to catch one. We saw the setup for one before. Well, yeah, I mean.
Well, like Scott, I would love to, and I have been rehearsing every week in my backyard with a whole bunch of people in anticipation for porch concerts, but so far we're not allowed to have them yet. As soon as we can, we will. And other than that, what do I have going on? Well, I'm planning rescheduling a tour for the third time next year. And
third time's the charm.
Yeah, I hope so. And yeah, I have some singles coming out. I have a new album that's out exclusively via my website. And otherwise, there's only one single of it out to the digital streaming world. And sort of releasing song by song for that until it's finally going to be out in fully in January, when I'll supposedly start touring again.
All right.
Terrific. It's a beautiful album cover.
Oh, well, thank you. It's designed by Peter DeVos, who is a local Edmonton artist. And it's, well, he didn't design it. He's the photographer who took that picture in the Edmonton River Valley as part of a series of photographs that have to do with people living outside.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I had a graphic designer design it as a cover. So yeah, I think it's very beautiful also.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Anne.
Okay.
You're welcome. Have a
See you
good
later.
one. I'll keep watching.
Bye-bye.
Okay, ciao.
Okay.
We
Yes.
realized we had Bobby from the Livingston Landowners Group speak at the beginning, and we realized that we could talk a little bit more about what that group has been doing. I would highly recommend going to their website. You can find links to petitions, and one is to stop the Grassy Mountain coal mine. And related to that, if you go to the Alberta government's website on the coal policy engagement, they have a fact sheet there, and you can see that 4-page fact sheet and see some of those coal mine names that you'll hear in the media. So I found that very useful, that fact sheet. So highly recommend the Livingston Landowners Group website, and Jeremy's going to say a little bit more about them.
Yeah, they are involved in some legal action to help push our cause along, and they were in early actually, so they're taking the government to court to stop the development of the coal mines. We've had some updates from the Pakisco group. I think they're in the same lawsuit. So right now they're waiting. All the courtroom action is done for right now. They're waiting for a judgment to come down. But they're also not waiting. The two groups are funding some studies to inform the decisions because they don't fully trust the government to take everything into account. So the Pakisco group, we had helped out with their GoFundMe, and it reached its goal, and then they decided to fund these studies. So now the goal is higher, and then our money is going back there, and it's also going to the Livingston Landowners Group. But if you want to give directly, there is a GoFundMe link for the Pakisco group, and there is a fundraising link on the Livingston Landowners Group page. You can just give directly to them without going through GoFundMe.
And they're also having an art auction in May.
Yeah.
With all proceeds going to the Livingston Landowners Group. So
another reason to visit their site.
Very exciting.
Yes. Yes. Okay. I think that's it for that right now.
Yeah, some more music.
On to our beamed in from 2 weeks ago when we had a little bit of computer access permissions issues. Tom Wilson from Black Indian Rodeo King, Junk House, and many other things, as well as being a great solo artist in his own right. He has sent in a video for us. Let's go to that now.
My name's Tom Wilson. I'm here to support a movement that's going out in Western Canada. It's a movement to protect Alberta's Rockies and headwaters. It's also a fight against open strip coal mining. My main thought is, how is it that we still feel we can own nature, that we can rule the land, and that we can use all of that beauty just to make money? It's been a problem and a product of colonialism. And I believe that this time we're starting to put an end to those foolish beliefs. We need to preserve this planet. We don't need people who want to control the land or us. We need to step forward to free our land and ourselves from this way of thinking. Can you hear me calling for my one true love? Praying to the sky and the heavens above. I'm a big chief climbing on a mountain. I see the war. I see the war in the sky up top. I see the war and I want it to stop. There's a spirit in the river and a spirit in the trees. A voice in my head that brings them after me. I'm a wanted man born of the water and the woods. I'm a big chief. Big chief trying to do some good, but I'll be hung before I'm understood. And I wanna dance through the flowers and on the grass. Yes, I'm gonna dance away the war with you. Dance this war away. Oh, the night keeps falling and the wagons come. 3,000 miles with no place to run. From Caledonia to Wounded Knee. I can't believe what they've done to me, what they've done to my children and me. And I wanna dance through the flowers and on the grass. Yes, I'm gonna dance away the war with you. Yeah. I'm gonna dance this war away. Now there's a spirit in the land, but it's hard to find. There's walls and bridges and long gray lines. The shadows stretch across the world anew. Is all hope died? Oh, baby, I think of you and all the things that we used to do. And I wanna dance through the flowers and on the grass. Yes, I'm gonna dance away the war with you. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna dance this war away. Thank you.
Thank you. That was special. Mm-hmm. I'm going to leave it at that. We'll move on to our next live guest, Alan and Arnell. Are you there? Jane. Apparently not.
We can come back.
We can come back to them. Yeah. What we'll do is we'll move on to a friend who stayed at the Grosvenor before. We met him through the Burning Hell. Oh, wait. Here we go. Are you there? Yeah. Hello,
There
Jane.
we are.
Jane. Hi. How are you doing?
Just great. Man, it's awesome to kind of be near the end because you can hear all those wonderful musicians.
We can come back.
We can come back to them. Yeah. Oh, you're watching. You're watching on the YouTube. You got to shut the YouTube off.
Okay, stand by.
We met him through the Burning Hell. Oh, wait.
Oh,
here we go.
Is that better?
Are you there? Yeah. Yeah. It'll take a second for it to. It's fun. I've done that to myself. It's very confusing.
Great. Man, it's awesome to kind of be near the end because you can hear all
We'll
those.
just wait for like 30 seconds.
We can come back.
Okay, it's all right. Wait a minute. You're watching. You're watching on the YouTube. You got to shut the YouTube off.
Okay, stand by.
We met him through the Burning Hell. Oh, wait. Oh, here we go.
Is that better?
Are you there? Yeah. Yeah. It'll take a second for it to. Okay. Did you shut the window with the YouTube off? No. It's very confusing.
Great. Man, it's awesome to kind of be near the end because you can hear all those.
Come back.
Okay, all right.
This is our comedy segment.
Yeah. All right.
You'll have to close the YouTube window or turn your volume down on that computer. Somehow it's going to keep.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Are you there? Yeah. Yeah. It'll take a second for it to. Okay. Did you shut the window with the YouTube off? No. It's very confusing.
Great. Man, it's awesome to. I'm getting out of here.
Okay. Okay. We'll come back.
That was so traumatic. She left. She left the meeting.
We have another way to talk to them. In the meantime, we'll throw it to our good friend Wax Mannequin. He's prepared a video for us tonight.
One kid threw
grew up in the classroom while the other kids were laughing. The sick boy's face got all twisted as he looked around and yelled, "It ain't funny." But I guess that the rest of us thought it was. Yeah, I guess that the rest of us thought it was. First, they murdered the teacher, and then they butchered the lesson, and then they chewed up the language. At last, they swallowed the world. One kid threw open the shutters while the other kids lay gasping. The window kid said we should leave here and escape the choking fumes together. But I guess that the rest of us chose to stay. Yeah, I guess that the rest of us chose to stay. First, they cut down a mountain, and then they churned the wide ocean, and then they brewed up a poison, and then they'll probably learn. First, they'll cut down a mountain, and then they'll churn the wide ocean, and then they brew up a poison. At last, they'll probably learn. At last, they'll probably learn. At last, they'll probably learn. They'll probably learn. Hey everybody, thank you for having me here. I am Wax Menigan, and thank you for supporting Alberta's Eastern Slopes. Make a donation if you can. Romans are leaving, called to grief and loyalty at home. Hadrian's backing, broken by the weight of all the bones. Blood under pressure, through these leaded pipes, out to the road. Ooh. Pressure is coming, push an oily engine through the age. We're underwater, pressure keeps our anxious love in place. You think about leaving, or running through these pipes up into steam. You're talking at me, what would we argue for? If I fight you, I fight me more. You got away from me. I know it seems I was barely here, but you got away from me. I'll get away for 1,000 years. I told the truth of it. I used a word you wouldn't hear. I told the truth of it. I'll take it back in 1,000 years. 1,000 years. 1,000 years. 1,000 years. 1,000. 1,000. 1,000. 1,000. Think about running from the house out to the trees. Hang in the branches, let them leave a mark up both your knees. Hold up a young, or lift them to the white, unsteady sky. Then no, I'd never run, not without enticing reasons why. Talking at me, what would we argue for? If I fight you, I fight me more. I got away with me. I know it seems was it away for 1,000 years. I told the truth of it. I used a word you wouldn't hear. I told the truth of it. I'll take it back in 1,000 years. 1,000 years. 1,000 years. 1,000 years. 1,000. 1,000. 1,000. 1,000. 1,000. Ooh. I told the truth of it. I used a word you wouldn't hear. I told the truth of it. I'll take it back in 1,000 years. I will go back for it. I left my guitar in Thunder Bay. I will go back for it. I will be home in a couple of days. A couple of days. A couple of days. A couple of days. A couple of days.
Hey, everybody, stay strange. Stay strange and stay safe out there.
Okay.
I highly recommend seeing Wax Mannequin live when we're seeing live shows again.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay. We've got one more act for you. That's Alan and Arnell.
They're not just a comedy act.
They're not just a comedy act. Yes, they are a musical act. We're just trying to work through those few technical difficulties. And yeah, just take a few minutes for them to connect. They can't hear us yet. Okay. Let's take this opportunity to thank the people we have to thank tonight. I'm going to thank Bobby and Laura from the Livingston Landowners Group and the Pitkisco Group, Nico and Jeff, Emily Patterson, Scott Cook and Pamela May, the Jackson 5's Basement Squirrel Butt Rock Showcase. That is quite a category of music. Anne Breen, Tom Wilson, Wax Mannequin, and our next guest, Alan and Arnell. All right, how are you guys doing?
We're all good.
All right,
Okay.
Sounds good. We're not looping ourselves, so you guys can take it away.
Take it away. Okay, thanks. We want to really gives a thumbs up to you two for putting this on. And can you believe we're still at it? And we're still fighting the battle. We're grateful for the coal committee. And just like you said, Jeremy, I didn't specify which category I wanted coal free. It should have been all of them, right? And been working with Livingston landowners, a couple of people in there, and I've been writing my letters, filling in the surveys, all the petitions. I've been walking the petitions on the highway down in Nanton with a bunch of great friends, and petitioning, standing in front with my little sign in front of the MLA's office. And the big thing about this is if this was a great thing about coal mining, there would have been people from the government saying, this is a good thing, but they're hunkering down and hiding and not coming forward. And it's not fair to the people of Alberta. It's not fair to our environment. And I'm really upset, and so are a lot of people and musicians. We're all coming together to, anyway, we'd like to sing a song. I wrote this song several years ago, and it's about Alberta. It's called The Big Prairie Sky.
to a sweet sanctuary that I call my home. Alberta wild roses, they bloom in the field, and a big prairie sky, a blue prairie sky, it's my home. Well, I need blue skies and clouds up above. In the distance, those mountains and a sweetie I know. A safe place to lay down and good books to read, and a big prairie sky, a blue prairie sky, it's my home. The sunbeams and the moonbeams will mark all the day, surrounding those moments in so many ways. Roots deep as the maples that grow by the road, and a big prairie sky, a blue prairie sky, it's my home. Sunbeams and the moonbeams will mark all the day, surrounding those moments in so many ways. Roots deep as the maples that grow by the road, and a big prairie sky, a blue prairie sky, yes, it's my prairie sky now home. Our little ditty, our little song to our Rockies, that we love, we cherish, and it's what makes Alberta special, and the people in it. We're gonna sing a song. It's an old-timey song. I'm gonna get Lance to sing. The little man on the, he's the big man on the. Sorry, the big man. Big stool.
Jenny, before you start,
Yes.
I just want to check to make sure you got your original sound turned on, right?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
We lost your volume a bit in the last song somehow from start to finish. We're not sure what happened.
Yeah, it started okay, but then it just kind of got quiet.
Audio setting. Yeah, everything's on.
Okay.
We just sing louder, right?
Yeah.
It's good when you're,
Yeah, when you're loud, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't suppressing you.
No, looks like just what you told me.
Yep.
Okay. We'll just
Okay,
carry
thank
on
you.
here.
You bet.
Fingers crossed. Go ahead, Lance.
Oh, how my lonely heart is aching tonight for the one that I'm longing to see. Oh, what I'd give if I could be there tonight, with a sweetheart who's waiting for me in the blue Canadian Rockies. Spring is sighing through the trees, and the golden poppies are blooming round the banks of Lake Louise. Across the field they
call me. I'm lonesome and so blue. For the blue Canadian Rockies and the one I love so true. In the blue Canadian Rockies, the spring is sighing through the trees, and the golden poppies are blooming around the banks of Lake Louise, around the banks of Lake Louise. Is that coming through?
That came through so beautifully. What a beautiful song that is.
It is, isn't it a classic? It's just
Yeah.
a wonderful song. I got to tell you, well, you have mentioned, I guess this comes out backwards, doesn't it?
No, we can see it.
Oh, we can see it. Oh yeah, please put that up. That's perfect.
Yes. These.
Go.
they're-
You gotta hold it still.
Hold it up and hold it still. Yes.
A little bit farther back. Right there, right there, right there.
Perfect.
Yeah. Don't wiggle it. It gets blurry when you wiggle.
You're a natural comedian and rabble rouser.
You should see me on the highway waving my sign. But so we do have that art auction coming up, and we've had wonderful artists. There's paintings, there's jewelry, there's a beautiful quilt there, there's pottery. So please check it out, because that's also a fundraiser for Livingston landowners, just like tonight is. So please contribute, give generously, because the battle's not over yet. So, and we've both met some wonderful people considering this battle that we're in. I've met some wonderful people via Zoom calls and on the highway, and it's just been really nice. And they're just wonderful people in Alberta that care so much. So I'd like to sing a song about another wonderful person, and it's a true story. And this is our last song. And thank you again to Jeremy and Wendy for putting up these concerts, and all the wonderful musicians who've contributed. This is called, I wrote this song a few years ago. It's called Harvey's Hired Hand. Well, I can hear the rumbling, big wheels on the road, slowing to the driveway, pulling up a load. Leather boots and denim blue, weathered hat in hand. He's here to start another day, Harvey's hired hand. Through any kind of weather, he'd be there for the herd, cleaning all the stalls with care and saying not a word. I've never known a sweeter guy who'll give you his last dime. He's riding high up in the sky, Harvey's hired hand. Well, I remember one winter time, the snow had fell all day, and wind blew across the prairies, blinding the highway. No one dared to venture out
But then I saw him there, plowing through the bitter wind with a grin from ear to ear. Well, there were many at the funeral, boots and leather shine, a cowboy hat and saddle sat alone beneath his smile. I never got to say goodbye, but I'll always recall leather boots and denim blue, Harvey's hired hand. There we go. Thanks, you guys.
Jane and Lance, you were perfect artists to go out on. Thanks for your music and for your words. Thanks so much.
And for your activism.
Yes.
Good night.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night. All right, so that brings number 6 to a close. We'll be back again in 2 weeks with another episode of the Protect Alberta's Rockies and Headwaters concert series. I don't know who's playing. Wendy doesn't know who's playing. You don't know who's playing. We'll all be surprised together. All right, so remember, sign every petition you can. coalsnotcool.ca. The E-3159, that's the federal petition. Sign that. Keep writing politicians, any politician, every politician. Just keep pushing. We're getting her done, little bit at a time. Anything to say, Wendy?
No, that's good closer. Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.